If you're job searching and your morning starts with panic scrolling LinkedIn while you're still in bed, you already lost the day. I'm going to show you why the first hour after you wake up determines whether you land interviews this month or you stay stuck in what I call application hell. Here's what's actually happening. Your brain is literally broken for the first hour after waking. It's called sleep inertia. Scientists have studied this. And if you're making critical job search decisions during that window, like which job to apply to or what to write in your cover letter, you are sabotaging yourself before you've even had breakfast. But here's the good news. I've studied the morning routines of everyone from Tony Robbins to Google CEOs. I've dug into the actual neuroscience research, and I tested all of this during my own job searches. What I'm about to share isn't just motivational fluff. It's a system which turns your morning from reactive chaos into proactive power. And it starts with understanding one simple truth. Your job right now is to find a job. So let's learn how to clock in properly. By the way, stick around until the end because I'm going to give you a complete morning routine blueprint that you can literally start using tomorrow. It's practical, it's specific, and it works. Let me ask you something. Have you ever sent a job application at 7 a.m. and then reread it at noon and thought, oh no, what was I thinking? Maybe you noticed typos. Maybe your cover letter sounded desperate. Maybe you applied to a job that wasn't even a good fit. There's a scientific reason for this, and it's not because you're bad at this. Your prefrontal cortex, that's the part of your brain that handles complex decisions, strategic thinking and impulse control, takes up to 2 hours to fully wake up after you open your eyes. Meanwhile, you're making career-defining choices. You're deciding which companies to target, crafting messages to recruiters, trying to sound confident and competent. It's like trying to run a marathon before you've stretched. Your brain just isn't ready yet. But once you understand what's happening in your brain, you can design a morning that works with your biology, not against. Let me break down the science really quickly because that's important. When you wake up, your brain goes through something called sleep inertia. Basically, the blood flow to your brain, especially to those frontal regions that handle complex thinking, takes about 15 to 20 minutes just to reach normal daytime levels. For some people, especially if you didn't sleep well, this can last up to 2 hours. NASA has actually done extensive research on this with pilots and astronauts, people whose jobs literally depend on sharp decision making. In a study publishing in the Technical Memorandum, researchers found that immediately after waking, even from a short nap, cognitive performance drops significantly. We're talking reaction times slowing down, decision-making getting impaired, memory tasks suffering, all for at least 15 to 30 minutes, and in some cases up to 2 hours. Your brain literally needs time to boot up. So if you're making important decisions about your career, like which job to apply to or what to say in a cover letter, in that first hour after waking, you're doing it with a partial offline brain. Now, on top of sleep inertia, there's also something called decision fatigue. And this is where things get really interesting for job seekers. The more decisions you make through the day, the more your brain gets tired. And you start defaulting to the easiest option. Let me give you an example. Researchers studied over 1,100 parole board rulings and found that judges were 65% likely to grant parole at the beginning of their session. By the end of the session, nearly 0%. But after a food break, back up to 65%. Why? Decision fatigue. Their brains were exhausted from making so many decisions, so they defaulted to the safest, easiest option, which was deny. For you as a job seeker, this might look like skipping an application because it feels like too much work, or sending a generic cover letter because you're too tired to customize. Now here's where it's getting interesting for us. There's this concept called proactive versus reactive work. Proactive work is when you align with your long-term goals. You're doing things that have strong long-term benefits, like reaching out to someone in a network, customizing an application for your dream company, or learning a new skill. Reactive work is when you're responding to whatever pops up, an email notification, a job alert, someone's LinkedIn post. It brings very little long-term benefit, but it feels productive at the moment. Without a plan, your morning becomes 100% reactive. You see a notification, you respond. You see a job posting, you panic apply. You're busy, but you're not actually moving forward. So, rule number 1, don't do cognitively demanding work in your first hour of the day. Don't write cover letters. Don't make important decisions about which jobs to pursue. Don't try to network or send important emails. Instead, you're going to use that time strategically to set yourself up for success. And before I show you exactly what to do instead, if you're finding this helpful so far, please hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps other job seekers to find this video too. And I want to make sure this reaches people who need it. So, if you're not supposed to jump straight into application, what should you be doing? That brings us to the most important mindset shift you can make. Here's the reframe that saved my sanity during my last job search. The moment you lose your job, you gain a new one. Your job is to find a job. I know, that might sound obvious, but think about how you've been treating your job search. Without this mindset, you drift. You'll sleep in because what's the point? You'll feel guilty taking a lunch break. You'll work until midnight scrolling through job boards because you don't have boundaries. You'll spiral into doom scrolling LinkedIn because you have no structure. And then you beat yourself up for procrastinating, which makes you procrastinate more. It's a vicious cycle. But when you treat job searching like actual employment, with a clock-in time, scheduled breaks, and clear boundaries, everything changes. You stop feeling guilty. You start feeling professional, and you show up differently. There's actually research on this. Studies on unemployment and mental health show that losing your job doesn't just affect your bank account. It affects your sense of identity, your daily structure, and your mental well-being. One study found that the amount of time people spend job searching actually declines sharply the longer they are unemployed. And people report feeling particularly sad during job search activities, especially the longer they've been out of work. Why? Because without structure, motivation dies. But here's the good news. Routines combat this. Research shows that well-structured routines reduce anxiety, decrease rumination. That's when you can't stop thinking about the same worries over and over. And improve what's called cognitive flexibility, which is your ability to adapt and problem solve. All things you desperately need as a job seeker. So here's what I want you to do. Decide on your work hours. Maybe it's 9 to 5. Maybe it's 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Maybe you're a night owl and it's 11 a.m. till 7 p.m. That's fine. Adjust to your natural rhythm. But you need a start time and an end time. When it's 9 a.m., you clock in. You're at work. You're a professional doing the job of finding a job. When it's 5 p.m., you clock out. You're done. No more applications, no more LinkedIn. You're off the clock. This does two things. It gives you structure, which your brain craves, and it gives you permission to rest, which prevents burnout. So starting tomorrow, you have a start time. You're going to clock in. And that start time begins a routine that primes you for success. Not with you frantically checking your email in your pajamas. Now I'm going to walk you through the next routine in a minute, and I promise you by the end of the video, you'll have a complete blueprint you can use. But first, we need to talk about planning, because this is the thing that saves you hours of wasted time. Productivity expert Brian Tracy claims that 10 to 12 minutes of morning planning can save you nearly 2 hours of wasted time. I tested this during my job search. He's right. Without a plan, you spend your entire day reacting. You'll react to emails, you'll react to job alerts that pop up on your phone, you'll react to whatever LinkedIn throws at you. Someone's post about their new job, a recruiter's message, a random article. You'll be busy. You feel exhausted by the end of the day, but when someone asks you what you accomplished, you won't really know. You were productive, but not effective. But with just 10 minutes of intentional planning, you shift from reactive to proactive. You take control. Here's the exact system I use, and it's so simple, you're going to wonder why you haven't been doing it all along. Every morning before you do anything else, before email, before LinkedIn, before even looking at job boards, you answer 3 questions. Question number 1, what are my 3 most important tasks today? Notice I say 3, not 10. Not everything on my to-do list. 3. These are your MITs, your most important tasks. These are the things, if you do nothing else today, will move your job search forward. For example, customize and send applications to company X. Reach out to Sarah from my old company about her new role. Finish updating my portfolio with that recent project. Question number 2. Why does each one matter to my job search? This is crucial. You need to connect each task to your bigger goal. I'm applying to company X because they're in my target industry and the role matches my skills perfectly. I'm reaching out to Sarah because she works at a company I'm interested in and personal referrals increase my chances by 40%. When you know why, you're way more likely to actually do the thing. Question number 3. When exactly will I do each one? This is called an implementation intention, and there's solid research behind it. Instead of saying, I'll apply to jobs today, you say, if it's 9 a.m., then I will work at the company X application for 90 minutes. The if-then format creates a trigger in your brain. When 9 a.m. hits, your brain knows exactly what to do, no decision required. Studies show that people who use implementation intentions are way more likely to follow through on their goals. So you time block your day. 9 o'clock till 10:30, deep work on application. 10:30 till 11, break. 11 till 12, networking outreach. 12 to 1, lunch. 1 till 2:30, skill building or learning. 2:30 till 3:30, LinkedIn engagement, company research. 3:30 to 4, break. And 4 till 5, follow up, organizational notes, planning tomorrow. You're batching similar tasks together, which reduces decision fatigue, and you're protecting your deep work time for when your brain is actually functioning. And then at 5 p.m., you clock off. You're done. Close the laptop. You're off duty. So here's what I want you to do tomorrow morning. Grab a notebook or open a note on your phone. Write down 3 tasks, 3 reasons why, 3 time blocks. That's your roadmap for the day. Now you might be thinking, okay, but when do I do this planning? Or what do I do before I plan? Great question. This brings us to the physical foundation, because here's the thing. You can't think clearly if your body is still half asleep. And stick with me, because at the end of this video, I'm going to give you the complete schedule. Exactly what to do from the moment your alarm goes off to the moment you send your first application. It all comes together, I promise. Tony Robbins has a saying that changed how I think about mornings. Emotion is created by motion. Your body determines your state, and your state determines your results. If you roll out of bed and immediately sit at your laptop in your pajamas, you're starting from a low energy, low confidence state. That's the energy you bring to your applications. That's the energy that comes through in every cover letter. That's the vibe you'll have if a recruiter calls you unexpectedly. You'll sound tired, uncertain, not like someone a company wants to hire. But if you move first, even just 15 minutes, you change your physiology, which changes your psychology. You feel more alert, more confident, more capable. There's real research backing this up. Exercise has been shown to reduce depression and anxiety, two things that are rampant amongst job seekers. It improves mood, boosts energy, and increases mental clarity. Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group, says his workout routine gives him at least 4 more hours of productivity time each day. 4 hours. Now, I'm not saying you need to run a marathon or join a gym. I'm saying move your body. Go for a 15-minute walk around your neighborhood. Do some stretching. Follow a 10-minute YouTube yoga video. Do jumping jacks in your living room. I don't care what it is. Just get the blood flowing. If you want to go deeper, Tony Robbins has this technique called breath walking. You inhale 4 times through your nose, short, sharp breaths, and then exhale 4 times through your mouth, all while walking with purpose. It sounds weird, but it works. It oxygenates your body, wakes up your lymphatic system, and makes you feel powerful. Some people swear by cold showers. The research shows cold exposure can reduce pain and inflammation, increases happiness, and improve overall health. Tony Robbins, and many I know, literally plunge into a cold pool every morning. I can confirm you feel right awake afterwards. The point is this: movement first, thinking second. So before you plan your day, before you check your phone, before you do anything else, you move. Even 10 minutes. Get your blood flowing. Shake off that sleep inertia. Now you're ready to prime your mind, which is where the real magic happens. When you're grateful, you can't feel fear. You can't feel anger. That's a fact. This is why Tony Robbins spends the first 10 minutes of every single day on what he calls priming. Job searching is emotionally brutal. Let's be honest about that. You send out application and you hear nothing. You get rejected after interviews. You see other people posting about their new jobs on LinkedIn while you're still stuck. Without a mental practice to counteract this, you'll spiral into negativity. And that negativity kills your motivation, shows up in your body language during an interview, and seeps into your applications. Recruiters can sense desperation. Hiring managers can feel low energy. But if you prime your mind every morning with gratitude, visualization, and clear intention, you build what researchers call psychological capital. That's resilience, hope, optimism, self-efficacy. And studies show that psychological capital is one of the most important factors that help unemployed people persist in their job search, even when the situation feels hopeless. Here's Tony Robbins' exact priming routine. It takes only 10 minutes. 3 minutes gratitude. Sit down somewhere comfortable. Close your eyes. Think of 3 things you are genuinely grateful for. No surface level stuff. Really feel it. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's a friend who checked in on you yesterday. Maybe it's the fact that you have skills and experience that companies need. The key is to step into feeling. Don't just think, I'm grateful for my health. Actually feel the appreciation in your body. Why does this work? Because when you're in a state of gratitude, your brain literally can't process fear or anger at the same time. It's neurologically impossible. 3 minutes, prayer or blessing for others. This one's flexible depending on your beliefs. Tony prays for his family and friends. If you're not religious, you can just send good thoughts to people you care about. Visualize them happy and healthy. This gets you out of your own head and into a mindset of contribution, which feels way better than obsessing over your own problems. And finally, 3 minutes, visualize what you want to accomplish or experience. This is what Tony Robbins calls 3 to thrive. Think of 3 things you want to accomplish today, or 3 ways you want to show up. Maybe you see yourself completing an important application and feeling confident about it. Maybe you visualize having a meaningful conversation with someone in your network. Maybe you see yourself staying as resilient and motivated even if you face a setback. The key is to really step into it. Don't just think about it from distance. Visualize it as if it's really happening. See what you see through your own eyes. Feel what you'd feel in that moment. Make it vivid. This isn't woo-woo nonsense. Visualization is used by Olympic athletes, top performers and successful people across every field. 10 minutes, that's it. Gratitude, blessing, visualization. You've set now your mental state for the day. You're calm, focused and ready. Oprah Winfrey does something similar. She meditates and practices gratitude every morning. Arianna Huffington, who founded the Huffington Post, says that sleep and morning mindfulness practices are non-negotiable for her. These aren't just nice to haves. They are the foundation. Now you've moved your body, you primed your mind. Let's put it all together into one complete routine that you actually can use. Okay, you've got all the pieces. Now let's build the full routine. From the moment your alarm goes off to the moment you send off your first application. Without a clear sequence, you'll cherry pick what feels easy and skip what actually matters. You'll do the gratitude thing one day and skip it the next. You plan sometimes, but not consistently. You'll move your body when you feel like it. The routine only works if you commit to the system. But when you follow this blueprint consistently, you'll start every single day with momentum, clarity and energy. You won't have to think about what to do. You just do it. And over time, this becomes automatic. It becomes who you are. Here's the exact schedule. Feel free to adjust the times based on when you naturally wake up, but keep the sequence the same. 6 o'clock till 6:15. Wake up, hydrate, light movement. Alarm goes off. You get up within 5 minutes. No snoozing. Drink a full glass of water. Your body is dehydrated after 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Do some light stretching or shake out your body. Just wake yourself up gently. 6:15 to 6:30, exercise. This is your 15 minutes of movement. Walk, jog, yoga or YouTube workout, whatever gets your blood flowing. Remember, emotion is created by motion. 6:30 to 6:40, priming. Sit down, close your eyes. 3 minutes of gratitude, 3 minutes of blessing or prayer, 3 minutes of visualizing your goals for today or how you want to show up. This is where you set your mental state. 6:40 to 6:50, 10 minutes planning. Grab your notebook. Answer the 3 questions. What are my 3 myths today? Why does each one matter? When exactly will I do each one? Time block your day. Now you have a roadmap. 6:50 to 7:30, healthy breakfast and learning. Fuel your body with actual food, not just coffee. While you eat, read something positive or educational, not the news. No social media. Maybe it's a book on job search strategies or an article about your industry, or watch this video again. Feed your mind with good stuff. 7:30 till 9 a.m. deep work block. This is your first big work session. Your brain is finally fully awake. This is when you do the cognitively demanding stuff. Customizing applications, writing cover letters, reaching out to your network. No distractions, phone on silent, email closed. 9 a.m. and beyond, lighter tasks. After your deep work blocks, you can switch to lighter tasks. Follow your plan. Engage on LinkedIn, do some research on companies, respond to emails, schedule coffee chats. These are still important, but they don't require the same level of mental energy. Now here's the thing. You might be looking at this and thinking, I'm not a 6 o'clock person. That's totally fine. Shift everything to later. If you wake up at 8 a.m., your deep work block might be 10 a.m. to noon. The key is the sequence, not the specific times. Also, start small. Don't try to implement all of this tomorrow and then beat yourself up when it doesn't go perfectly. Pick 2 or 3 elements. Maybe it's just movement and planning. Build from there. Track your routine. Use a habit tracker or just put a check mark in your calendar each day that you did it. Consistency beats perfection. This is your new normal. Not every day will be perfect. That's okay. Some mornings you'll sleep through your alarm. Some days you'll skip the exercise because you're exhausted. That's being human. The goal is progress, not perfection. Which brings me to the most important part, and this is something I want to address because I know some of you are dealing with this right now. Let's be real. Some mornings you're going to wake up and think, I can't do this today. Maybe you got another rejection email. Maybe you had a terrible interview. Maybe you've just tired of the whole thing. It's completely normal. Here's what to do. If you expect perfection from yourself, you quit the first time you fail. Job searching is hard enough. Don't make your morning routine another thing to feel guilty about. The secret isn't rigid discipline. It's self-compassion plus consistency. You're allowed to have a bad day. You're allowed to be human. On the days when you just can't do the full routine, do the minimum viable version. Maybe that's just 10 minutes of priming, or maybe it's just moving your body for 5 minutes. Something is always better than nothing. If you fall off track completely, maybe you had a rough week and didn't do any of this, that's okay. You don't have to wait until Monday to restart. You restart tomorrow. Right now, actually. There's no shame in starting over. Now let's talk about rejection, because this is the hardest part of job searching. You're going to get rejected. A lot. And that's just reality. I'm actually going to make a separate video soon about evening routines for processing rejection and emotions, because that's a whole topic on its own. But for now, just now, your morning routine is about setting yourself up for success. Your evening routine is about processing the day and letting go. Both matter. Also, please set boundaries. Don't job search 24/7. When you clock out at 5 p.m., you're done. Close the laptop. Step away. Rest is not optional. It's required. Find accountability if you can. Maybe it's a friend who's also job searching, and you text each other every morning when you complete your routine. Maybe it's a partner who checks in with you. Community helps. And finally, and this is so important, celebrate the small wins. You applied to 5 jobs today? Cuddle your dog. That's a win. Send a networking message. Win! Did your full morning routine? Win! You don't have to wait until you get an offer to feel proud of yourself. You're human. This is hard, but every morning you show up for yourself. You're building the resilience that will carry you through to the offer. And it's coming. Keep going. We've covered a lot. Let me bring this home. You know now why your brain isn't ready to complex decisions in the first hour after waking. Why treating job search like a real job changes everything. How 10 minutes of planning can save you hours of wasted time. Why movement and priming set you up for success. The exact morning routine sequence you can start using tomorrow. How to handle the inevitable obstacles and bad days. Here's your action step tomorrow morning. Pick one thing from this video, just one. Maybe it's the 10 minutes of planning, maybe it's gratitude, maybe it's just moving your body before you touch your phone. Start here, build momentum, and remember, your job right now is finding a job, so clock in like you mean it. If this video helped you, so please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe for more real talk job search strategies, and drop a comment telling me which part of this routine you're going to try first. I read every single one and I'd love to hear from you. Also, if there's a specific job search topic you want me to cover next, like how to handle rejection or interview prep version 2.0, let me know in the comments. You've got this. I believe in you. Confidence after job loss starts here. I'll see you in the next video. Now go build that morning routine.